Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Congregation at White Plains.
Good morning. We begin our service in a shared ritual, lighting of our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. As we light our chalice up front, we ask our children to light the chalice in the side area, and we invite our families at home to light their chalices as well. This morning, we would like to create the words of chalice lighting together. Reverend Danielle, Al, and Tracy, oh, she is, will have microphones amongst you, and we ask several of you to offer words that you like to hear when we light a chalice. Together, may we begin, and please try to hold the microphones so that everybody can hear you. Let us start.
Love in our community.
flame is always burning.
It's burning.
Connection.
Fostering friendships, long-lasting ones.
Friendships, long-lasting.
Let's journey together.
Let's journey together. And with that, let us begin.
Well, that's the most beautiful chalice lighting I've ever heard. It's amazing what we can do when we bring our voices into our co-created space. Welcome. Welcome to the co-creation of this community. A community where we live our values out loud. The children of our congregation are working on a few projects this morning, packing menstrual flow kits for our partner organization, 914 Cares, and then potting native plants that will be cared for over the summer and planted in the fall, led by our placekeepers, honoring our spiritual connection and commitment to the grounds. Our youth are already in their Our Whole Lives class, where they're focusing on workshops on anti-bullying, bystander responsibilities, and consent. That's what we're teaching our youth. Wow! Living our values out loud. A community that, as we heard in our chalice lighting, centers on love, on friendships, on community, and being together. In our month of celebrating creativity and creation, this is a month of play. So let's just shake off statements like, I'm not creative. Let's just shake that off. Let's shake off, I don't have a creative bone in my body. Shake it off. Let's shake off, I'm not creative, but Judy is. Nope. Yes, Judy, you're creative, but so am I. Shake off. We are inviting everyone to engage in the sacred art of doodling. We have paper on our pillars here. We invite you, there's paper on the pillars in the back. All are invited to share messages, words, doodles, sketches that are appropriate for sacred community. Where's Steve Miller? Appropriate. In a little while, we'll hear more about the sacred art of doodling. You'll see we've already got some started. We are also inviting all to welcome in May, or go a-Maying, as it's traditionally called. Perhaps you saw this fabulous altar that is still in creation. You're invited over the next month to bring in flowers, sticks, things that you find beautiful, and add them to our altar here, which we will celebrate during our annual flower ceremony in June. This Beltane totem lovingly constructed by our placekeepers yesterday in their rewilding efforts and the work they're doing on the hill in the back. May our space continue to be a place of inspiration, of love, support, challenge, and care as we celebrate the creativity that lives in each of us. It is good to be together.
You're here. My name is Kathy Williams, and I use pronouns she and her. And as the choir gathers into place, I will say I am not your only hymn leader this morning for this song. We are going to do a round. Everybody, if you could all rise in body and spirit. Thank you. We're going to sing number 1059 in unison. That means all together twice. and then break into a round. We're going to sing the round through twice. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. And look, you've got your leaders right in front of you. So if you lose your place, just look at their mouths. In unison twice first. Thanks. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing with the light and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. Again in unison. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing with the light and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing with the light and softly with the dawn, to sing with the stars, and dancing circles in the Bravo, everybody. Thank you.
Every contribution we make to CUUC is a testament to our collective dedication to creating a more equitable and compassionate world. Whether you give here in the sanctuary, scan the QR code in your order of service, or click the donate button on our website, know that your kindness, your generosity, and your unwavering belief in community truly make a difference, not just for CUUC, but for the wider world. This month, we share our plate with the New American Enrichment Fund. Jane Dixon will say a few words about this fund.
Good morning. I just looked at that. I probably could go sit down. But no, I want to add just a little bit more information and to help you to feel a connection to this organization. In 2018, a former member of CUUC made a generous donation to offer the children of our first refugee family that we resettled an opportunity to sign up for after-school activities, visit museums, and enjoy the day camp experience. Since then, the Children of ICNA, the larger organization locally that we work with to resettle families, the number of children has grown from 3 to 17, and although we can no longer offer full summer scholarships, we continue to offer some financial assistance to any of our children who request it. But last year, we broadened the mission of the fund to include employment enrichment for adults so that they can take courses to upgrade their employment skills. The primary benefactor has moved out of the area, but because of the plate share, we've been able to keep the fund going. As we accept more families, those funds have become critical to providing a summer camp experience for the children and opportunities for adults to enhance their resumes with additional skills and certifications. As I mentioned last year when I was here talking about the fund, we realize this is not life-saving. It's not hunger. It's not health care. But it is life-enriching. And we hope we can count on your support to keep the New American Enrichment Fund viable. Thank you.
join me in a breath? I feel most connected. I feel spirit moving, whatever spirit means in that moment. During that ritual we sometimes do where we invite people forward to light candles. And you start with 1, and then there's 5, and then there's 20, and we're reminded of this sacred flame that's in each of our lives, that we're all holding something. Whether it is joy or sorrow or something in between, we're all holding and wishing and wanting something. And we bring that together, watching that spirit, that fire grow. Some people might say, I feel spirit when I'm dancing, when I am moving my body and connected to that energy. Others may say, when I am allowing myself to be quiet and just present, just as if that's an easy thing to do, being present. Some might say it's when playing with children. It is when I am laughing and giggling and imagining with children. That's when I feel connected. Abraham Joshua Heschel said when he was marching to Selma, his feet were praying. Connection to justice and spirit. This idea of what is sacred and what is holy is different for each of us in different moments, on different days. In the spirit, this morning, our theme, creativity and co-creation. I would love to hear, what are some names you have for what is sacred? What is holy? What are some names that you might use? We're going to shout them out. Spirit of life is a safe start. Suchness. I'm writing them down, y'all. Spirit is moving. Or at least adjectives. All right, I got to goodness. Fun. Food. All right, kindness. Now, resistance. Music. All right. Now, what are we praying for? What are we hoping for? What are we wishing? What are we needing right now? Peace. Unity. Liberation. Justice. Love. Insanity? Sanity. These are wishes, not how we're feeling. Got it. Sanity. Yep. Okay. Lawfulness. All right. Beloveds, will you join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation? The spirit of centering our hearts on what is sacred to you, what is most meaningful, however you name that in your life. Will you join me in that space? Spirit of life, energy of suchness and movement, great beauty and peace that follows, goddess around us, the spirit of our leaders calling us forward like Martin Luther King Jr., great goodness that exists always. Spirit of fun, because wow, do we need to call in the spirit of fun right in this moment. connection of sharing a meal, of good food that fills our bellies, and the spirit of friendship that fills our hearts. Kindness that we need and show one another, resistance to all that is around, and music that somehow holds, connects us through all of this and more. We lift our hearts in this spirit, in this hope. We lift our hearts longing for peace. Is peace possible? Spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. and great leaders, is peace possible? They would remind us, yes. Yes, so long as you work for unity and liberation, so long as you do the work of justice with great love. Equity, we hope. We long for sanity, however we define that idea. We long for lawfulness that is just, that is centered in community, that creates space for liberation and equanimity. We lift what is on our hearts into this co-created and shared sacred space. We hear from the hearts of our beloveds. We lift into this love all of those joys, all of those sorrows that remain on our hearts this morning. Trusting this space, trusting one another to hear, to hold, to do our best, to try and try again. We who are brought together by hope, hope for peace and love, connection, community, equity. Our hope brings us here, beloveds. It is our love that keeps us here. May all of this and more be true. Will you join me in a moment of quiet to pray, to meditate, to add what is on your heart this morning to our shared sacred space?
First, let me make clear that I am not at all good in the usual creative pursuits. I never learned to play a musical instrument. Stick figures are my preferred art form. I was never crafty, and I can't sing. In fact, I even got thrown out of the glee club in high school. Well, it was politely suggested that maybe singing wasn't my strength. And though I was a bit surprised at the time, that was a fair evaluation. And I've limited my singing to situations where other voices drown out my off-key singing. So what kind of creativity can apply to an obviously non-creative person like me? Creativity in exploring the possibilities open to you, in making decisions about what you want to do with your life. Until relatively recent in our history, we generally had very little choice about what to do with our lives. If your parents were farmers, you were a farmer. If your parents were merchants, you were a merchant. If you were lucky enough to pick aristocrats for your parents, so were you. Now we have more choices about what to do with our lives. Certainly not completely free choices, but many more choices than we sometimes realize. Some choices are life-changing. My parents chose to leave a small farming village in Italy and come to America. Leaving their families, including their parents and brothers and sisters, was a hard decision to make. But they made that decision to expand the possibilities open to their children, especially educational possibilities. They were creative with their lives and expanded the creative possibilities of their children's lives. I've been able to take some advantage of the educational possibilities open to me by my parents' creative choices. I was able to go to graduate school in mathematics. And then when that didn't seem right for me, I was able to make a course change, somewhat creative course change, and go to law school and begin my career as a lawyer. And since I've retired, CUUC has enabled me to explore new possibilities, to make more creative decisions. Where else could a person whose only prior experience as a teacher was teaching calculus to college students be part of a teaching team for grade school kids, and even teach AL, the UU sexuality course, or become a journey group leader, or join the worship associate team and stand in front of you all talking about creativity. So why not be creative in making decisions about how to live our lives? Why not be creative in exploring the possibilities here at CUUC? Thank you.
This was given to me about 35 years ago, and at a festival. It was something that talked about creative. We all just got together and we just did harmony, just like, this is a great song, let's do it. And it really turned out great. And it's just talk about inspiring creativity. It's one of the things that helped me continue on my journey as a musician, and I have a real affection for this piece. So hope you enjoy, and please clap along.
I said the little leather-winged bat, he'll tell you the reason that he flies by night is because he lost his heart's delight. Howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day.
I said the redwood fence on a pole, once he loved a handsome soul, but she got snippy and she fled, and ever since his head's been red. Howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day.
I said the blue hen as he flew, once she loved a young gal too, but she got snappy and wanted to go, and he felt the bow, a using bow. Howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day. Take me, Jimmy, rock and roll. Howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day, howdy, dowdy, diddle-um-day.
As we approach this month's topic of creativity, an initial feeling of dread came over me. Me? Creative? Not so much, or at least not in my own perceived view of creativity. Art, music, writing, dance, not so much. Then I decided to consider what I enjoy doing. Gardening, cooking, baking, looking for art pottery, picking tiles for backsplash. The list goes on. Each with a certain amount of uncertainty, with opportunities for creative expression. And from time to time, well, actually often, I doodle. At meetings, while watching TV, sometimes during Sunday morning services, while I'm waiting at an airport or a restaurant. I do not doodle in traffic jams, though the thought has crossed my mind. I generally doodle in pen on whatever paper is lying around. I love color, especially orange, hence the orange shirt today. So sometimes my doodles get colored in, but it's not a requirement of a finished piece. Doodling actually helps me stay present. I think I listen better when I'm drawing. My fingers and my eyes are busy, so my ears open up. I generally do not keep my doodles. Once in a while I do if it's on an important piece of paper. And I think some people in my journey group know that I doodle during journey group. And I've put one up there to start us off for the month. In speaking to other doodlers, thank you Barry, Dan, and my brother Andy, doodling assists to avoid paying attention in certain select situations, and in other moments to enhance paying attention and focusing more intently. Some of these people that I spoke to have a daily practice of doodling, while others randomly create as the spirit moves them. They doodle in notebooks, while others use scraps of paper or orders of service, in color, black and white, over many decades, on several continents. My brother was even featured on a CBS Sunday morning program many years ago about his doodling artistic forms. The segment suggests that doodling is not a random thought and encourages doodling as a way to further engage in other activities. I think each person finds their strength and their interest, be it animals, flowers, geometrics, or random symbols at a starting point. And sometimes these random doodles end up being the thought for a painting, a card, a quilt, an embroidery. I do want to share that one of these doodlers, on occasion, leaves a 3x5 index card creation in a returned library book for the next reader to enjoy. They're also known to leave a 3x5 card on a New York City subway seat for the next traveler to be bemused by. What a wonderful expression of sharing joy. Might we each be lucky enough to be the recipient of such gift. I think we all need to discover and embrace our seemingly non-traditional view of creativity. As we explore creativity this month, I'm quite certain that each of us have creative expressiveness that not only enriches our own lives, but those around us. I hope that we'll spend some time together creating doodles, or music, or art, some delicious meals, or maybe some beautiful gardens here on our grounds, so that whatever flows forth from us goes into the world creatively. Thank you.
Can you raise your hand if you have never played a piano before?
Played well or like?
However you want to interpret that. Okay, I saw a lot of hands there. So we have a piano at our house, and as our kids grew up, we also had a lot of toddlers around the house. So if you've ever been around a piano near a toddler, you'll know it goes something like this. There's the first kind of tentative, and then they realize, I have agency here. You can see them fill up. I can make piano. And then you start hearing a lot of this, right? Which is great for a very short amount of time. But I never wanted to discourage kids from exploring this musical side. And I realized that the way the piano is structured, you can actually get the kids to participate in kind of an improvised framework with just a couple simple instructions. So I will say something like, we're playing the white keys now, or we're playing the black keys now. And both of those lend themselves all of a sudden we're in a key, and that's nice. Or if I want to give them a little bit more direction, I'll say, let's just do one or two at a time, and then. And this can actually also be made accessible. You can say, we're playing the keys that lie flat now, or we're playing the keys that stick up now. So it's a great exercise to let kids explore musically without having any knowledge of how the piano works. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a piano piece together as a congregation. So if you raised your hand before, this is your chance to make piano. But this is open to everybody. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start playing on the bottom, and I want people to walk up and add a few seconds of their own. Whatever you feel, whatever you're feeling right now, just try and express it through the keys. We are using the white keys. As long as you stay on the white keys, the ones that lay flat, you can't play any wrong notes. And for anybody who doesn't feel moved to come up and participate, we're also going to hum a little bit. If everybody can just. Okay, who is going to be brave and come up first? All right, now all you hand raisers who have never. Oh.
When we told Harvey, my son, that we were moving here, he made us promise one thing, that we would bring his playhouse. One of those 2-story numbers. It's like a little bit rickety. You're not quite sure. It's got the monkey bars on the slide. He made us promise to bring it with us. So Matthew took it apart. We brought it. It's sitting in our garage. Harvey stopped asking because it's always an awkward, like, when are we going to do it? We're like, it's coming up. It's coming up on a year. He's about to turn 5. It's time to start putting this thing together. So Matthew and I, one afternoon, we said, okay, we're ready. We grabbed the base. We looked at the grounds in the parsonage, which are beautifully rooted with boulders everywhere. We moved it around and thought to ourselves, okay, the concrete pavers we used at the old house are not going to cut it here. We looked at each other, we thought, and then we did the really hard thing. We're going to need some help. So we called Joe. And Joe called Gary. And they've come over and helped us move this base around, trying to find some area that we can have level enough to make this safe. On Friday, Gary was at our house down at the parsonage, and he had rebarb and wood and a saw and all of these wild tools, and I'm sitting in my office. It's always a little bit of a risk to be around on a Friday afternoon because that's when I'm wrestling my own creativity into words on a page. And so I thought, I'm going to go see what Gary's doing. I'm going to go supervise. I'm going to go supervise this task. So I go out, and they're moving, and they're working, and I asked Gary, so Gary, what do you need to know about creativity? What would you like to hear about creativity? And he has the nerve. He has the audacity, right? Standing in the middle of all of these tools and things I don't understand, to say, I'm not creative. Sorry, Gary. Or thank you, Gary. To say, I'm not creative. Matthew then, without missing a beat, why is creativity always the thing we cannot do? Right? It's as if we put this box around our definition of creativity and then put ourselves safely outside of it. Adobe ran a workshop, or not a workshop, they did a survey, and they said, how important is creativity? 8 out of 10 people said creativity is really important for economic success. Okay, fine. 2/3 of people said creativity is important. Okay. 1 out of 4 people said, yes, I'm creative. Only 1 out of 4.
And I do think, as we've been talking about, it's a little bit around our definition of creativity. We have our musicians and our artists and our painters and our writers who teach us beauty, right? Who can create emotions in the modes that they work in. Right? That is an easy definition of creativity. That's the one that we know. They work hard. Their creativity, not easy, but the definition feels like we understand that form of creativity. Another definition, and I want to read it to you. So this is coming from Jeffrey Davis, and he wrote this in Psychology Today. Ready? Creativity is imagination applied to making situations better, more effective, enriched, beautiful, meaningful, humane, better. Creativity is imagination applied to enriching life. To improve a situation, you have to track what's problematic and apply your imagination to improving or solving it. This is what we human beings are biologically and spiritually driven to do. This is what we human beings are spiritually and biologically driven to do. If you understand the importance of vegetables to a toddler, turning broccoli into tiny trees and that toddler into a dinosaur who will now eat them, that's being creative. If you are someone who can look at a whole sheet of numbers and tell a story, creative. If you're someone who has been thinking about, okay, we know there is flooding happening, and we have a large amount of grounds here with hills everywhere, maybe the work we do on our hill can impact the flooding of the community downstream. And you spend 1 full Saturday, 4 full Saturdays, and many more digging trenches and drainage to keep that water on our land, being creative with who we are. Maybe then the question isn't, am I a creative person or not? That's not the question. The question is, what kind of creative person am I? What is my creativity? What is the mode I work in? Or if you're still not sure, I invite you to think about, what is the thing people call you for? What is the thing? I cannot figure this out, so I'm going to call, and you have the answer, or know how to find the answer. The question isn't, am I creative? It's, what kind of creative am I? In his book, Don Luis Miguel, The 4 Agreements, writes that there are 4 agreements we make with ourselves to live fuller, more wisdom-filled, centered lives. The first agreement is to be impeccable with our word. To be impeccable with our words, to understand what our words mean, what they say, and their impact. He offers that words are like spells. Words are like spells. So think about, you're walking down the street and someone says, I really love those shoes. What happens? Walk a little taller, a little excited about your shoes. Or what if somebody says, your voice in the choir, your solo was stunning. How does that feel the next time you sing? These are spells that we cast on one another. It works the opposite way too. We can also cast spells that harm one another. I think back to my adolescence when I had a dressmaker tell me that nothing would fit because I have a large rib cage. Now, to her, this was just her job. She was like measuring, and she's like, well, compared to these other rib cages, but now, 20 years later, I still hear that. Right? We still hear those things. I think we all have those curses that have been cast upon us, and we do our work, right, to say, okay, that's not true, that's about them, that's not about me, but still they appear, they come out. We hear them. So being impeccable with our word doesn't mean that we won't sometimes make mistakes. That doesn't mean we won't say what we mean, or we say what we don't mean. But it means being aware of what we're saying, the impact it can have. Right? An awareness of those words that we use, and when we use words that harm, to take a moment and do what we need to do to correct that harm so that we are spreading more love, more magic with our words. The question isn't, are you creative or not? How does it feel? I am not creative. Where does that give us to go, beloveds? Maybe I am creative. I just don't know where or how or what. Maybe here we have what we need. Maybe here we have the hope and the passion, the dreams, and yes, the creativity to go and be and do those things in our world that we prayed about, that we hoped for, that we wished for. What kind of creative are you? That is our invitation for the month. Maybe it is doodling. Maybe it is playing the piano. Maybe it is adding to our altar. What kind of creative are you? And know that that is a gift. And it is yours to share. It is yours to hold. But it is a gift. And when you share yourselves, that part of you with us, you are giving us that gift in return. What kind of creative are you, beloved? Let's continue to play. Let's find out together. Let's share our gifts and be the place we hope for, we wish for, we pray for. Amen and blessed be.
Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. For those of you online, please extinguish your chalice at home with us. This morning, we will also create the words of a communal chalice extinguishing. Reverend Danielle and Nikki will have microphones, and we ask for several of you to offer words that you love for chalice extinguishing.
We extinguish our chalice with gratitude.
Gratitude.
Deep caring.
Deep caring. Hope. Understanding.
Oh.
The light remains. Creativity.
Love.
Love. Resilience. Keep the spirit alive. Keep the spirit. Let's repeat that. Keep the spirit alive.
With that, our chalice is extinguished.
Thank you for being with us today. I think our collective creativity is truly amazing. Our weekly e-communitarian and RE newsletters offer many details of activities here at CUUC. We hope you take a moment to discover all the interesting offerings awaiting you within our community. It has been a gift to be together today. After we sing together our parting music, please spend a few minutes speaking with someone you don't know. Escort each other to coffee, to the other events of this morning, and know the blessings of friendship. I would ask everybody to sign the hymnals. They're in the back of the sanctuary. We have several bridging high school students that are going off into the world, and we would like you all to add your notes of loves and blessings to them. Thank you.
This is where we are called to be. If here you have found love, if here you have found hope, if here you have found connection, go and share that love, that hope, that connection with those you meet until we return again. Our worship is over. Our service begins. After we sing, go in peace. Know that you are loved, and may the 4th be with you.
Let's all rise in body and/or spirit for this one.
The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The sun is rising, and so are we. The sun is rising, and so are we. The sun is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.